Fallout 4 has many cool and unique armor sets hidden around the wasteland, and in this video I'm going to uncover 10 of the best legendary armor sets you can find. This list will include armor sets that are generally amazing, but also armor sets that are specialist, for example armor that is exclusively good for radiation or melee builds. I wanted to make a list of the best armor with at least one set in this video applicable for every possible type of character. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you do enjoy this type of content. Coming in at the number 10 spot, we have Grognak's outfit. Now, Grognak's outfit is a very unique looking costume, and it is based off the Grognak the Barbarian character. This is a comic book character in the Fallout universe, and we can acquire his costume for ourselves. As his moniker of the Barbarian would imply, Grognak is a bit of a beefcake who swings a massive axe around and is as strong as an ox. This outfit can be found in Hubris Comics, located in downtown Boston. The comic shop is infested with ghouls, so make sure you are able to take them out before entering or you may get swamped by the ghoulies. At the top of the building we find this costume stuffed into this locker here, and if we pick it up we can witness the power of Grognak. Wearing this costume grants you an additional 25% melee damage and also increases your strength by 2, further bolstering your melee damage as each point of strength increases your melee weapon damage by 10%, so wearing this costume grants you an additional 45% damage boost to melee attacks, making you an absolute tank. The armor protection offered by this costume isn't the best and it unfortunately can't be ballistic weaved, but the absolutely insane boost to melee attacks was simply too good to ignore. If you are a stealthy melee character, the lightweight Grognak costume will be fantastic for ensuring you can slip around in the shadows, and when you do strike, you hit harder than anyone else in the wasteland. Coming in at the number 9 spot, we have the Commando Armor set that is excellent for VATS-based characters. The combat armor set can be purchased from Proctor Tegan aboard the Brotherhood of Steel Pridwin, hovering above the Boston airport. This armor set comes with 2 pieces, the helmet and the chest piece, with the helmet providing a 10% reduction in AP cost whilst using VATS, and the chest piece increases your AP refresh speed. This is an excellent combination for any VATS-based character, as the most annoying aspect of using VATS is certainly when your character is running out of AP and needs to wait for it to replenish. With this armor set you will replenish your AP much faster and also use less of it when using VATS to attack your foes. This armor set is brilliant for a VATS soldier type character that is a fan of the combat armor look, as this is what the armor is made of. This combat armor is fairly good bog standard armor, and the legendary effects just make it that much better. Coming in at the number 8 spot, we have Atom's Bulwark, which can be obtained at the end of the Far Harbor DLC, only after completing the quest Reformation, or by destroying Far Harbor in the Cleansing the Land quest. This armor is bequeathed to us by the Children of Atom, who are radiation fanatics, and as such the armor they give us reflects this. This armor is Marine Combat Armor, which is amongst the best of the best armor in Fallout 4. The legendary effect is that the more rads that we possess, the higher our damage and energy resistance will be. At 0 rads, the armor provides an additional 15 damage and energy resistance on top of the regular Marine Combat Armor damage and energy resistance. For every 100 rads you accrue, you will receive a further 5 damage and energy resistance. If you have a rad-based character, then this armor is incredibly overpowered. You can rack up rads which will limit your health, but your damage and energy resistance will also rise rapidly, making you extremely difficult to kill. Now this is an extremely specialist piece of armor, so that is why I've ranked it rather low, even though what it can do is absolutely amazing. So if you are a radiation-based character, you have to get your hands on Atom's Bulwark. Coming in at the number 7 spot, we have the Champion Armor set. The Champion Armor set contains 3 pieces of combat armor, with these being a chest piece, a left arm and a right arm. This armor set is simply a good all-round special booster, as the left arm gives your character a +1 to your endurance and to your strength, which will increase your melee damage by 10% and your overall health and the decay rate of your action points. The right champion arm gives you a +1 to your agility and to your perception, giving you increased accuracy in VATS and also increases the amount of AP you have. And the champion chest piece reduces damage from robots by 15%, which it's not the most useful legendary effect, but it's certainly useful if you are going to be playing the Automatron DLC. This special booster can be acquired in two locations. The chest piece and the right arm are sold by Becky Fallon in Fallon's Basement at Diamond City Market, and the champion left arm is sold by Lucas Miller, a wandering trader who you can find all across the Commonwealth, but who frequently stops at Bunker Hill, so I would recommend going there to find him because he'll usually be just hanging around. This armor set is a good all-round build if you're just looking to boost your special stats, and it is pretty good armor to use on your character. Coming in at the number 6 spot, we have the Overseer's armor set. This too is in the form of combat armor, and it can be found in Vault 81, located here on the map. Within the vault, if we visit the trader Alexis Combs, we can purchase the 2 Overseer's arm guards from her. The left arm guard reduces the amount of AP used by VAT attacks by 10%, an excellent addition for any character, and the right arm guard will reduce the damage you take while standing still by 15%, an incredibly underrated and overpowered effect. Using this combination, if you entered into VATS whilst you remain still, you would be taking 15% less damage and be able to fire off more shots as your AP decreases slower. These 2 armor pieces are also heavy combat armor, meaning that their base damage and energy resistance is very high compared to regular combat armor. This set is really useful for any character out there, but especially those who are more inclined to use VATS. Coming in at the number 5 spot, we have the Apocalypse armor set. Now this set has 2 armor pieces, the chest piece and the left greave. This armor is a little bit different as it is in the form of metallic armor. This armor has a more difficult method of acquisition compared to our previous pieces, as you must have invested some levels into being able to build shops at your settlements, and you need to create a tier 4 armor emporium and a tier 4 general store. You also need to assign specific NPCs to each of these stores to even acquire these items. To get the left greave, you must assign the Vault Tech rep to a tier 4 general store. We can find the Vault Tech rep in the Hotel Rexford in Goodneighbor, and if we pass a yellow speech check when talking to him, we can convince him to head on over to Sanctuary. This will allow us to assign him to a store and thus acquire the greave. The greave has the Bolstering legendary effect, which gives the player character increasing energy and damage resistance the lower the player character's health gets, and this is up to a maximum of 35. To get the chest piece, however, we must find the random encounter that spawns in the Scribe, who is a former Brotherhood member that you can send to your settlement. There are a ton of spawn locations that he may appear at, and they are all listed in the Fallout Wiki, so if you would like to acquire him, I will leave the link to the Fallout Wiki in the description for you to have a look at all the possible spawn locations, as there is no point in showing you every single possible location in this video. If we do manage to find him and assign him to a tier 4 armor store, we will be able to buy the Apocalypse chest piece. Now this chest piece has the Martyr's legendary effect, which will slow down time when the player character's health reaches 20% or less. Now this is super useful, and it is essentially an auto jet that deploys if your health gets too low, and it is very similar to the Nerd Rage perk, which is a perk that you need Intelligence 10 to get. Now if finding the Scribe is way too difficult and you want this type of legendary effect, you can also buy the Devastator's left greave from Cleo in Goodneighbor, which has the exact same effect. Now the Apocalypse armor pieces, when coupled together, mean that your character, when low in health, you get more damage and energy resistance, and you will also be able to slow down time, a pretty powerful combination if you are heading into tough fights. The steep requirements to get these pieces is a little bit of a buzzkill, but these are some amazing armor pieces. Coming in at the number 4 spot, we have something rather special, and that is Oswald the Outrageous's tuxedo and hat. This can be found in the Nuka World DLC after we follow along Oswald's quest at the Kiddie Kingdom. We are dragged around the map fighting painted ghouls and darting through the fairground rides that have evidently been turned into nightmarish traps, and eventually we face Oswald the Outrageous upon a rooftop. Here we can converse with Oswald and we can resolve our conflict peacefully. If we do this, we receive his hat, but if you want everything, you have to kill him. After battling a tough fight with Oswald, who can apparently regenerate from the brink of death a few times, we can retrieve his magician's hat and tuxedo. The tuxedo has the legendary effect of reducing damage from humans by 15%, an incredibly useful effect, and his hat allows the user to move faster by 10%, which is less useful but still a fun addition. The reason this armor ranks so high is because not only is it so incredibly cool to look at, it's really unique, it has a really good legendary effect, but it also can be upgraded with ballistic weave, turning it into an absolute tank of a piece of armor. If you're aiming to be a very resilient wastelander that has a creative dress sense, then Oswald's clothing is a must to acquire. Coming in at the number 3 spot, we have the Destroyer's armor set, which is actually nearly a full armor set. The pieces of this armor include the right leg, left arm, helmet and chest piece. The left arm of this set is sold by Deb, who resides at Bunker Hill, and this piece provides the legendary effect that can reduce damage whilst blocking or sprinting by 15%. Certainly not useless, but not one of the most useful effects out there. The chest piece and left leg can be bought from Daisy in Good Neighbour, and the chest piece provides a reduction in damage from humans by 15%, and the left leg increases your movement speed by 10%, two rather useful effects we've just seen on Oswald's armour. The right leg can be found in somewhere we've already been in Vault 81 on the trader Alexis Combs, and this provides a further 10% movement speed. Finally, the helmet can be found on Penny Fitzgerald, who resides in the closed settlement of Covenant, and this piece has the effect of increasing your intelligence and charisma by 1 point each. This armour has some really useful legendary effects, and the fact that this is nearly a full set makes it much more appealing in my opinion. You are able to reduce the damage from humans by 15%, increase your movement speed by 20% overall, add an extra point to your intelligence, giving you more XP gain, and also add a point to your charisma, making you more likely to pass speech checks. This is one hell of an armor set that you should definitely get your hands on. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have the Freefall Legs. These legs are extremely overpowered if you are a non-power armor build. They each have the acrobatic legendary effect that reduces falling damage by 50% each, and thus wearing both means you are immune to fall damage. These are combat armor pieces and can spawn in a variety of types depending on your player's level, including heavy combat armor. They can be found in the Mass Fusion building in a secret room high up. You will need a power armor frame and also a jetpack to acquire these, meaning it is pretty difficult to get there, and you can't just waltz on over at level 1. To get a jetpack, you will either need rank 4 in science in the intelligence tree, or to have already completed the game with the Brotherhood of Steel and have been given the modification of the jetpack. Well, whichever one you choose, whether you acquire the jetpack modification from the Brotherhood or you get it from crafting it yourself with the science perk, you want to head on over to the Mass Fusion building and make your way up to where I am on the screen. You're going to have to get into that room up there, which looks quite difficult. Just make sure you have a good amount of action points and also have some Nuka-Cola Quantums on hand to refresh yourself. If you manage to make it up there, you can open this box and get yourself the Freefall Legs. This is such an overpowered legendary effect, and also this armor is so secretive, you can't just buy it from some stationary merchant, which makes it so much more desirable. You can now leap from the tallest buildings in Fallout 4 and be completely fine, not even taking a lick of damage. Finally, at the number 1 spot, we have the legendary Marine Combat Armor set. This set has 4 legendary pieces: the helmet, the chest piece, the left arm and the right arm. The helmet can be bought from Brooks in Far Harbour, and this gives you a +1 to your agility and to your perception, meaning you have more AP and a better chance to hit in VATS. The chest piece can be bought from Cog in Acadia, the Synth Haven, and this reduces damage taken while standing still by 15%, one of the best effects in my opinion. The left arm can be bought from Brother Kane in the Nucleus, and the right arm can also be bought from within the Nucleus, but from Sister Mai. The right arm increases the wearer's movement speed by 10%, and the left arm has the Martyr's legendary effect, which we have discussed, meaning that when you get to 20% health or less, you essentially can freeze time, you have autojet that deploys, and you can take out all your enemies as you move faster than them. All in all, this armor set is not only visually one of the coolest, it also has incredible damage and energy resistance on its own because Marine Combat Armor is among the best armor in the game. The legendary effects on these armor pieces are also extremely good, increasing your special stats, making it so that you take 15% less damage when standing still, making you move slightly faster, and also giving you the Martyr's legendary effect where you essentially can freeze time if you take enough damage. So I hope you did enjoy this video. If you do agree with the list, then please do let me know in the comment section down below. If you disagree with the list, then please also let me know. If you think I've included some armor that shouldn't be here and you have a better option, then let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are aiming for 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so please do join the channel and subscribe. I make lots of Fallout content, so do join the SuperbTube gang. Anywho, thank you for watching for the final time, and I'll see you all in the next video, in a bit.